Now, as I started to experience this abuse, because it was abusive, to wake up every morning and get beaten um, is an abuse. Anybody that touches your physical body and causes physical pain is abuse. Along with that came the words, and the words that I now was hearing in my life is that I'm lazy, that I was no good. The only thing positive was, you're pretty. And I knew myself. I never ever let go of myself. And I knew that I'm more than just pretty. And I'm not lazy and I'm not stupid. But that seems to be something that I attracted in my life all the time, is people are constantly saying, you're lazy, you're stupid, you're lazy, you're stupid, you're lazy, you're stupid. And it was like a mantra that my parents had. From that health issue, the rest of my life was hearing these words constantly over and over and over again. So what it actually did was reprogrammed myself to be stupid and lazy. Everybody that perceived me to be stupid and lazy. Now again, what I come to learn at the end of this whole experience, the wake up to, my puzzle, my life purpose, this gave me an understanding to know how to talk about it. But back then I didn't really know. I knew myself. I knew not to fall into that. I knew I wasn't stupid. I knew I wasn't lazy. I knew I'm more than just being a pretty person. But I had to fight it. I was constantly fighting to prove, no, I'm not. No, I'm not. And the more I fought it, the more I looked guilty of it. So the lessons are not going to be so much what other people do to you. It's what you accept. It's what's inside you that you perpetuate yourself. This is where words count. Words can be more abusive than physical, because physical just creates a bruise that creates a life rule of survival that is still just as harmful. But you can at least see it. It's there. You have a story that everybody can say, this is big and bad. But nobody will put any real words to how abusive emotional abuse is. But emotional abuse creates the rules that you live by. If people at the top, elites, want to say we're just stupid eater feeders, that's all we'll be. We won't be anything but that. And as you want us to serve you, it's like, if we're useless and stupid and have no value, then we're going to make all of this stuff to be crap for you. So you got to kind of make us look like we're geniuses, if you want a genius to actually make your food. If you want genius food, you got to call the maker of the food geniuses. You can't lower the slave. You can't demean the slave, because the work that the slave does will reflect what it is that you're putting out there. So for me, that's what I could see, is I was fighting this negative energy that constantly wanted to tell me that I'm lazy. And it's funny, I'm on a welfare system. And, I'm still hearing those words again. You're lazy and stupid, lazy and stupid. But you're pretty. And so it's like I'm on this video not looking pretty, because it's like trying to prove that, no, there's something a little bit deeper than what I look like. That was always another fight that I had to make all the time, is, no, I'm smart. I'm more than just pretty. I'm a human being. I have value. I have worth. I'm not lazy. I wake up all the time. I've done a hell of a lot of research to try and get this understanding. I try, I'm writing this book. I could sit here and I'll try and live off the little income that I get, but it's like anybody that wants to say welfare isn't, the easy life. It's like, how easy is it when you can't do a damn thing off of it? You're barely surviving. That's no easy life. Nobody wants this. Nobody wants to be lazy. Everybody wants to be productive. But the more you put the tape recording on somebody, the more you want to say, you're stupid, you're stupid, you're stupid. Trust, you're programming that person to be stupid. But actually it's the judges that are stupid, because that's all they want to see. They can't see anything different. They can't open up their comprehension to see something completely different. So they're just going to constantly throw those words at you all the time. Now, odd as it may be, my mother was always into horoscopes. And as we're seeing a universal shit happen out there, we're seeing the sun have some kind of effect on our planet. We're seeing that the planets and their alignment, and the moon and the stars and all of that seems to be doing something to us. A lot of people are thinking that we need to discover outer space, not really understanding what outer space actually is. But ironically, my mother was always into horoscopes. And one thing that was another heavy influence on my life, because she would read my horoscope, and the two main things that I got from horoscopes is I was in a learning phase. So just hearing that I was in a learning phase ended up allowing me to just accept and allow that, okay, these are life lessons that I'm just supposed to learn something from. And I'm a Capricorn. And if you do any research on Capricorns, they're usually successful in later years. So it's like, okay, when am I going to be old enough to finally get success? And it's like, as soon as I ended up learning my life lessons, as soon as I came out of that learning phase of my life, was the time that I was going to be successful. I think I'm kind of falling into that now. Not old enough yet, but I think I'm in process. And I suppose it meant, too, the meaning of what success really is. Because I also had a father. I had my genetics were more on the successful side. My mother's parents, although during the Depression, they were making railroad ties. So there was always a way of making some kind of income by providing the ties for the railroad. Although they were really, really poor, we're headed for a massive depression, worse than any other depression we've ever seen. And I can tell you that even though my parents had a way of getting an income, my grandparents did, they were still very much in poverty. Everybody had to sort of grow their own food. On my father's side of the family, they were butchers, so they had access to the food system. And they thought that they were really, really good people because they provided food to the black market. And my grandfather being an alcoholic and being a gambler, some of that food was probably going to the wrong people. They didn't really, while they thought that they were heroes in some kind because they were providing food for other people, they were actually preventing the right people from getting the food. They were putting those with more entitlement, probably those that won at a gambling game, got more food than those, the majority that was, everybody sharing, everybody getting along, everybody getting their equal portion. My family, my heritage, didn't do that. They thought that they were heroes. They thought that they were good guys, by being able to get food to people that wanted it through the black market. It's quite insane when you kind of see that picture. That and that is the elite game, is you are not sharing your wealth. You perpetuate the depression by only giving to your friends. It is like the bank bailouts, where they're only going to provide for their friends and not to the whole. And as long as the whole suffers, the depression lasts and lasts much longer. So, really, really unique background and learning experiences that I had through this. Childhood was really, really painful. It was more of a life of just accepting everything that was wrong. Both of sides of my family, both my grandfathers were alcoholics. There's a cause to their alcoholism that I haven't quite figured out, but clearly they had pain in their lives that they couldn't overcome. And you'll find that with, these elites, that you will have an addiction problem to something. Generally, because you are in control of your medical systems and the police systems, your addictions won't be recognized as an illness, but it will kill you because you're not recognizing it, because you don't have anybody that's going to stand up and say, hey, that addiction is kind of wrong. And your addiction is money. And as long as you think you need to have all of the money, you're not sharing. You're destroying the planet. You're investing in things that are destroyers. You will earn your money through war. You will earn your money through creating poverty. You will earn your money through death. You will kill more people because death is the most profitable thing. You might invest in medical, pills that only sustain everything. You might, or vaccines, or energy. You do not know how to run a system that's fair. You do not know how to make things right. You know how to make things break down all of the time. And as long as we're constantly breaking everything down, as long as we are destroyers, you are destroying your own life, and you're not reflecting on that yet. But it is your addiction to money, because as long as you want more money, then you aren't seeing how you make your money. You aren't seeing how you're destroying the hand that feeds you, because you're so focused and addicted to that money that you're not seeing what you're doing to yourself. You're not seeing what you're doing to your world. So addictions of all kinds are very, very harmful, but they're usually generated out of pain, a lack of love for self. And when you have a lack of love, you will try and chase something to feel that love with. You will be in so much pain that the addiction relieves that pain. Alcoholism relieves that pain. Money will relieve that pain. Drugs will relieve that pain. But ignoring that pain, ignoring the cause of that pain, you won't find your cure. And your cure will unfold a better life for yourself. Like I said, the best title for this book is Dying for Dummies. Your addiction is killing you. So if you want to live, and you want to live a healthier life, you want to get rid of your addictions. And the only way you can get rid of your addictions is trying to find out the causes of your addictions. And I know the attachment to money because, as I say, that my background comes from money. Although they were in the Depression, they had more money than everybody else. They definitely had the addiction to money. My mother was more of the loving kind. She was the victim of abuse. Generally, when you are the victim of abuse, you gain a little bit more understanding. But my father was more left brain thinking, logical, money driven. So I can see the mentality of how you get addicted to money very easily through my father's influence. If he just kept calling me lazy, then he thought in some world that I wouldn't be lazy and I'd be a better slave. I'd work harder and harder and harder to get that money. He was always money driven. Always told me life was about money. You have to get money, money, money. Meanwhile, he's being abusive to his wife, he's being abusive to his children, he's living a very, very lonely life, he has zero idea of what happiness is, he's on what he calls happy pills, he still does not have any clue of what happiness is like. Money did not solve any of his problems. I'll continue on another day.